we're practicing today. Let's come onto our mats. Have available your blocks if you need your blocks, my dears. We're going to be practicing for the full moon in Cancer. We're approaching the full moon. And so we'll be working with the lunar energy and drawing upon the wisdom of the moon. And the mudras that we're going to be adopting today is the Shakti Mudra. So the Shakti Mudra is fold in the peace fingers. That's your index and middle finger. Fold them in and fold in your thumb. So fold in your thumb first and then fold over the middle finger. Sorry, middle and ring finger. And then bring the tip of the ring finger together, tip of the little finger together, and then join the knuckles of the index and the middle fingers so that you create this sort of pyramid here with the ring finger and the little finger. So we'll just come a little bit closer so you can see. So fold in the thumb, fold over the ring finger, the index finger, the middle finger, bring the tip of the ring together, tip of the little together, and then the knuckles of the peace fingers together. So you create this shape here. And then settling onto your mat here. Coming home to yourself today. The wisdom of this moon invites us to settle into our homes. The homes, the physical home, the home in which our loved ones are, the home within ourselves. We're working with the element of water, jal, and the chakra associated here is Swadhisthana at the sacral area. Working with the ebb and flow of this body of water. The moon connects to the currents of water, both on the earth and both and within us. Our emotions, feelings may be drawn to the surface as the moon pulls upon these deep emotions and feelings. Let's open our practice by chanting Om 3 times. Once for the moon, once for the great body of water, which nourishes, hydrates, and connects. And then for our home, wherever that sense of home may be. Inhale to prepare. Om. 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 And we'll open by chanting our mantra for the full moon. All that is full, all that is complete and perfect, from which perfection, wholeness, and completeness arrives. We'll do call and response. Om pūrṇamada pūrṇamidam. Together. Om pūrṇamada pūrṇamidam. pūrṇāt pūrṇam udacyate. pūrṇāt pūrṇam udacyate. pūrṇasya pūrṇamadaya. Together. pūrṇasya pūrṇamadaya. pūrṇam evāvaśiṣyate. Together. pūrṇam evāvaśiṣyate. Once more, call and response. Om pūrṇamada pūrṇamidam. Together. Om pūrṇamada pūrṇamidam. pūrṇāt pūrṇam udacyate. pūrṇāt udacyate, pūrṇasya ādāya, pūrṇasya ādāya, evāvaśiṣyate, evāvaśiṣyate. Together. Om pūrṇamada pūrṇamidam pūrṇāt udacyate, pūrṇasya ādāya evāvaśiṣyate. Om. All that is full, all that is complete, all that is perfect. From this fullness, fullness arrives. From this completion, completion arrives. From this perfection, perfection arrives. Releasing your mantra, releasing your mudra for the moment. The other mudra we're going to connect to today is the yoni mudra here. This is the balancing mudra. So there's this balancing mudra that we may practice today. So my friends, let's start off by bringing the soles of the feet together. We'll be doing our Chandra Namaskar practice. And with the full moon, the kind of energy that we cultivate in the full moon is a sense of illumination, of gratitude. Inhale, lengthen, butterfly pose here, Decolonising. And then as you exhale, fold forward, opening up through the hips and the pelvic area here, where the Swadhisthana region is located. Swadhisthana for creativity, for fluidity, for passion and emotions. And as we work with the energy of the full moon, we offer gratitude for all that is observed, for all that we have journeyed through in the last cycle. We seek inspiration. We may feel inspired by our dreams, by our passions, by our relationships. One breath here. Inhale, rise up. Let's turn over to the right. So take the left hand to the right knee and look over the right shoulder. Place the right hand behind you. So we sort of come into a little twist here. Very gentle twist. And then inhale through center. Let's go to the left. Left hand behind. Look over your left shoulder. Right hand on left knee. And let's flow like this in both directions 3 times. Inhaling through center, exhaling to twist. And the last time here to the left. And back to center, my friends. Let's take our hands and thread them underneath our calves here. So you may have your hands on the earth. You may be able to bring your forearms onto the earth, depending on how much room you have to fold forward. So coming into tortoise pose. Kumakasana. Again, fold here. So imagine here this shell, this outer shell. Full moon in Cancer is the symbol associated with it is the crab, with a hard outer shell of protection. Now, when this shell is hardened, we may withdraw, we may become insecure, we may hide, we may be needy. These are the shadow aspects. So today I invite you to connect with the vulnerability, the sensitivity, to begin to soften this outer shell so that you find connection with your loved ones. You find connection and become tuned into your feelings and emotions and what they are telling you. Inhale, let's rise up. Extend the left leg, tuck in the right hand. And again, reach up, exhale towards that left foot. You may take hold of the left foot with that left hand or place that left hand on your leg. And I'm going to invite you to reach up and over with the right hand. Bring the ring finger and the tip of the thumb together. This is idam mudra. Mudra for the Ida channel, of energy which runs through us. This nadi, or this main channel which passes through the chakras, is connected to the lunar cooling energy. Inhale through center, right hand on earth. Bring the left hand, ring and thumb together in this idam mudra and reach up and over to the right. Bring the left hand to your heart and inhale to rise up. And again, you can reach over with the left arm. Coming into Kalasana Variation. Exhale to the earth. Let's open out the right leg. Keep both legs open now. Coming into Dragonfly or Skandasana. And you may fold forward by placing your hands on your legs or wrapping your peace fingers around your toes. If the reach is there available for you, fold forward. Here we're working on the Swadhisthana chakra, the seat of the element of water, the seat of creativity, of passion, of pleasure, of relationships. This is connected to the full moon in Cancer. So Cancer is that caretaking, caregiving, nurturing, compassionate, intuitive, tender, emotionally intelligent aspect. In the way that water permeates and connects with all. The gift of Cancer, the full moon in Cancer, and the gift of those of you who are born under the sun sign of Cancer, is that you have the ability to connect with others, to be emotionally intelligent about their needs and desires. And sometimes in that you can lose sight of your own. So boundaries become important here. That's why the shell is there for boundaries. Release your toes, bring your hands back to center, rise up, fold in the left heel. And then as you exhale, reach over towards that right foot with the right hand. Place the right hand wherever it reaches comfortably for you. And then reach up and over with the left arm. Again, thumb and ring finger together in idam mudra. The idam mudra, the channel of the moon, the channel of the lunar energy, which flows through us, which directly connects us to the elements, which directly connects us to the astrological bodies. We are of the universe, and the universe is of us. The energy flows between us and the universe without barrier, without boundary, without distinction. Inhale through center, left hand to the earth, reach up and over with the right arm. Again, thumb and ring finger connected here. Option to bring the right fingertips to the heart, and then inhale and rise up in Kalasana, world thing or miracle pose. Exhale to the earth. Let's swing our legs around and come into child's pose here. Now, my friends, here for child's pose, you can take a wide-legged child's pose, so there's room for the abdomen here, or you can bring the legs together and reach forward with your hands, eyebrow center towards the earth. From here, we're going to create a flow of child's pose, thread through, swim through into Cobra Bhujangasana, then rise up into Table Vamarasana, do a flow of cat-cow, Vityasana, Vajrayasana, and then back into child's pose, and so on. So watch me, and we'll do this 5 times. So child's pose, Balasana to start with. Inhale, swim through into Bhujangasana. Rise up into table. And from here, let's do cat-cow. Undulate through the spine here. And you can do more than 1 here, so maybe 3 here. And then back into child's pose. So inhaling, thread through, swim through for Cobra Bhujangasana. Rise up into table. Cat-cow here. And also another option for here, as you're in Vamarasana, you may swing the hips from left to right, create circles one way or the other, and then come back into child's pose. So be creative with this little knee flow, this sequence here. Add the movements, the flow through the spine. I offer you the Ujjayi Pranayam. Ujjayi Pranayam is that ocean sounding breath, the constricted breath at the back of the throat, as if you're fogging up a mirror. Makes that sound. So imagine that you are fogging up a mirror, and then close the mouth and breathe out through the nose. Yeah, Kalasana, Bhujangasana, Bhamarasana, Bitliasana, Majliasana. And then perhaps you circle with the hips one way, then the other. And then come back into child's pose. Forward into Bhujangasana. Into table. Into cat-cow. Maybe you circle the hips. And then come into child's pose. And once more, let's do this cycle once more. Be creative. Think about the energy of water, the fluidity, the flow, these wave-like undulations of movement today, the cyclical energy. And we'll finish in Balasana child's pose. Take a moment here. Let's walk our hands over to the left. We create a lateral experience here on the right side. Inhale through center all the way over to the right. Again, as far to the right as you can with your upper body and your arms. Create that lateral experience on the left side of your abdomen. And then back to center, my friends. And from here, let's rise up into mountain Parvatasana. So walk your hips, walk your feet here, flow with your hips a little bit. The full moon is an invitation to shine the light brightly in all that we can identify, recognize the patterns of fear, of self-doubt, of avoidance, of distraction, of procrastination that can sometimes arise after the new year. When we move into this full moon, it's an opportunity to see, well, how are we? We planted seeds of intention in the new year. How are we beginning to nurture and nourish those? Are we tuned into our intentions? From here, my friends, we're going to do another undulation from Parvatasana, mountain, forward to Phalakasana, plank. You can always bring your knees to the earth if it feels, so you can do table to Ardha Phalakasana, or you can do mountain to Phalakasana. Surround through your spine here. And there's no real sort of pattern here. You're simply going forward over the shoulders, shoulders over hands, and then tailbone back. And if you're on table and you're doing Ardha Phalakasana, this sort of swinging of the pendulum backwards and forwards, and at the same time adding a sort of ripple to the spine. And again, 5 times today. And then, my friends, let's walk the feet forward, come into a forward fold at the top of your mat. Here, Uttanasana. Unfurl your spine, so uncurl one vertebra at a time to rise up. And then let's flow back down into a forward fold. You can take your hands to the back of your calves or back of your ankles. And then let's unfurl the spine one vertebra at a time. And then let's flow back down, forward fold. And unfurl the spine one vertebra at a time. Almost diving forward into a forward fold, as if you're plunging into a cool lake. Unfurl your spine one vertebra at a time. 5 times, so I think we've done 4 now. And let's finish off, forward fold. Unfurl the spine, last time here, rising up. And then quarter turn on your mat so that you face the full length of your mat here. So we're standing on the right of our mat, and we're going to move to the left through our Chandra Namaskar flow. So here, my friends, as you're standing here, let's reach up and bring your hands into Kali Mudra. So remember, Kali Mudra, interlace your fingers, release the index, cross the thumb. Exhale to the left. Chandrasana. Inhale to center, exhale to the right. Remember, our mantra for today, our full mantra that we're working with is Om pūrṇamada pūrṇam idam pūrṇāt pūrṇam udacyate pūrṇasya pūrṇam ādāya pūrṇam evāvaśiṣyate. So again, 5 times from left to right here. Sorry, I forgot to add that. And then let's bring our hands to the heart. And my friends, we're going to come into our idam mudra here. So remember this idea of bringing the ring and the thumb together. Right palm is facing down, ring and thumb connected. Left palm is facing up, ring and thumb connected. And imagine here that you're drawing a string here. So we're this thread of energy that connects us to the moon, the rays of the moon, the light of the moon. Open out and step into Tarasana star pose, keeping the mudra here, idam mudra. Arms open wide. Take a moment here. Bend into the knees, turn out the toes, and again, let's bring this idam mudra here. Place the left forearm on the left thigh and reach up and over with the right arm. And let's go in both directions. And if you wish, you can bring that lower arm all the way around, create this circle. Now let's place the hands on the knees. Rock gently from side to side. As you do that, extend through the opposite leg, point up the toes. 5 times here. You can come down quite low, or you can stay up quite high. And then coming into stillness, let's turn the right shoulder in towards the left. The right hand is on the inside of that right thigh, turning it out, pushing your way back to center. And then let's bring the left hand to the inside of the left thigh in, and bring the left shoulder in. So, and I know your legs are beginning to experience some tension here. You can stay up high with the shoulder, or you can fold down towards the earth, halfway towards the earth. Flowing from side to side. This is an opportunity for those who are in this energy here, thinking about if you tend to be withdrawn, overprotective, guarded, Perhaps you avoid conflict, or you are in denial about things that are going on around you, or you distract yourself. Think about how you can bring awareness to that, shine a light on that behavior, shine a light on that tendency, and how can you open up through your emotions, become more vulnerable with your trusted loved ones, build trust with those with whom you have intimate or close or familial relationships with. Coming back to center, let's rise up in Tarasana. Take a moment here, turn the left toes out and turn the right toes at a 45-degree angle. Hips face towards the left leg, so hips square here. You're going to hinge from the hips and fold over halfway, the heart parallel over the left leg, coming into our pyramid pose. Parshavottanasana. Sorry. Here, for your hands, this is where I'm going to remind you to come back into Shakti Mudra. So remember, fold in the thumb and then bring the index and the middle finger over the thumb, tip of ring together, tip of little together, and then bring the knuckles of the peace fingers together. And elbows out here so that you have your Shakti Mudra here at the heart. Halfway parallel here. My friends, here you can reach your arm forward with your mudra and then bring it into the heart. Let's move backwards and forwards with the arm. Maintain your balance. Press through all four corners of that left foot. Mindful not to lock out that left knee. Keep awareness to that leg that's behind you and the outer edge of that right foot. This will also help you to feel balanced. And when you've done this cycle of 4 here, inhale, rise up to standing pyramid. If that right leg is a little too far, remember you can always hop it in. Hands reach overhead, gentle back bend. Exhale, hands to the heart, spine to neutral. Inhale, gentle back bend, arms overhead. Exhale, spine to neutral. Inhale, reach overhead. Gentle back bend. Exhale, spine to neutral. Now I'm working with the cycle of 5 today. There's no real reason, except that there are 5 elements. And as we in this practice come home to ourselves during this full moon in Cancer, we come home to ourselves, to our physical place of safety and sanctuary and refuge, whether that is in a physical space or an emotional space with our loved ones, or whether it's in our own personal, intimate space. This sense of coming home and all that is that creates that home. We are of the universe, and the universe is of us. So this sense of home travels with us. Wherever we are, surrounded by the elements, we are at home or within our home. Okay, wherever we are, I'm sure we've done our 5 now. Let's come standing here. Bend into that left knee. Pivot on the ball of the right foot. Keep the Shakti Mudra here. Inhale. Ashta Chandrasana, high lunge or crescent lunge here. Gentle back bend. Exhale, hands to the earth. Bring them to the inside of the left foot and shuffle the left foot out. We're coming into dragon pose, Uttan Pristhasana. So your dragon pose, hands on the earth, right knee lifted if you wish, or bring the right knee to the earth. Your forearms can stay, come onto your forearms or stay up high on your hands. You also have the option of winging out that left foot onto the little toe side and that left knee, just so you can see it there. If you are having your forearms on the earth or on a bolster or bricks, bring your hands into Kali Mudra. So you'll notice how our practice is evolving, and I tend, in the early days when we did our practice, I tended to use one mudra all the way through. Now that some of you have been practicing with me for a long time, you know that during your practice, you can shift and change the energy and draw in different mudras for different types of energy. So a Shakti energy is for vitality. It's for creativity. The Shakti Mudra, sorry. The Kali Mudra is for vision, for clarity, for insight, intuition. Idam Mudra is for that honoring of that lunar energy. So you can see how we can draw upon different aspects of our practice. 3 more breaths here in your Uttanapishtasana dragon pose, my friends, your variation. And then let's come up onto our hands. From here, we rise up and we come into Skandasana, my friends. So pivot the heart and hands to the right, to the long edge of the mat. Shift the weight onto that left foot and then extend the right leg by pointing the toes up. So from dragon, we pivot over towards the right and pivot on our feet as we do that. And then rise the toes, lift the toes up towards the sky by coming onto the heel. And then we're here in our Skandasana. Remember, here you can use blocks. You can place something underneath your knee. You can sit on some blocks here as well. You can come and sit on the earth. Keep both fingertips on the earth for balance if you wish. You can keep one hand on the earth and then bring the other hand into your idam mudra, ring and thumb together. Or you can bring both hands in your idam mudra here. Right palm facing down, left palm facing up. And then let's scoot across the mat over to the right to come into Skandasana on this side. And my friend who's just joined us, we started at 9:30 today because I have my rowing. So I'm sorry that you didn't see the message. If you wish to join my WhatsApp group, drop me an email with your phone number and then I can add you to the WhatsApp group, which means, or drop it into the chat now, your number, because in that way you'll get a text if we change our times. Let's move back over to the left with our Skandasana. Take a moment here and then pivot on your feet, on the balls of your feet, so that you come into low lunge over to the left. Let's step forward with that right foot to meet left, forward fold here at the back of the mat. Let's inhale, rise up by unfurling the spine 1 vertebra at a time. So you're at the back of the mat here. And then exhale, fold forward, dive forward. Unfurl the spine as you inhale. 1 vertebra at a time, working with this energy of the full moon in Cancer. Dive forward into a lake of cool water. Unfurl the spine as you rise up. Exhale to dive back into your Uttanasana. Unfurl the spine as you rise up. I think we've done 4. So let's do the 5th here. And unfurl to rise up out of this cool, dark water towards the full glow of the moon. Quarter turn on your mat here, so you see the full extension of your mat to the right. And now we work back. So remember the full moon. The moon mirrors the light of the sun. So our practice mirrors the movements from left, right to left, and left to right. So here we are at the left-hand side of our mat with the long edge of the mat in front of us. Inhale to reach up overhead, interlace all your fingers, release the index, cross the thumbs, coming into Kali Mudra here. We're going to exhale in Chandrasana from left to right 5 times. You can keep a count. I will probably lose the count. Move to center and then move to the right, through center to the left. Using your breath as your guide. Inhaling to center, exhaling right. And thinking about here as you're moving here, this awakening of the creative energy, of the passionate energy, of the emotional energy. This moon is pulling and drawing out this emotional feeling aspect. So we may end up feeling very watery with tears, with emotions. We may be very happy and laughing and joyful. Those emotions that are running through the very core of us are surfacing under this full moon. And then when you've done your 5 to left and right, back to center, and then we're going to step across our mat. Remember, oh, actually, let's come into, remember we do our idam mudra here as well, and then open out the arms. The idam mudra is thumb and tip of thumb, tip of ring finger together, the other fingers extended. Tarasana, star pose. Bend into your knees, coming into Devyasana or Utthata Konasana. We're going to repeat what we did on that first half of our cycle of Chandra Namaskar. So let's place the left arm on the left thigh and reach up and over. And then through center, right arm on right thigh, left arm up and over. And you don't have to place your arms on the thighs. You can create these circles, crescent shapes here, flowing from left to right. Knees are turned out, toes are turned out here, legs are strong, You're sitting here into the pelvic area, and the movement is really from the pelvic area. And when you've done 5 cycles, my friends, to left and right, back to center, and here let's place our hands on our thighs here. Let's rock from left to right. And extend through the opposite leg as you move in the other direction. And remember here, you can come low or you can stay high. You roll onto the heel of the opposite leg, toes reach up. Moving from side to side here. So really drawing upon this element of water, jal, apas. We're releasing and letting go of tension through this fluidity. We're deepening into our body as we create this movement. Coming back into center, my friends, hands on your knees. Let's roll in the right shoulder and then push away very gently the right thigh. Inhale to center and let's go by bringing the left shoulder in and pushing away gently on that left thigh. So both directions. And I know your legs are feeling it. Why? This is why I'm giving you this opportunity to place your hands on your thighs. You can just give yourself a little gentle massage here to remind your muscles, your body, that you are taking care of it. This is the time to be tuned in, to feel. And when you've done 5 from left to right, let's come back to center. Take a moment here, rising up into Tarasana, and then turn the right toes to the top short edge of the mat. Turn in the left toes. Pivot here from the hips, so the hips are square over the right leg here. Ensure you don't knock out that right knee. So you may need to step forward with that left foot. If you place your hands here on these sort of the bony protrusions of your hip here, the headlights or the headlamps, hinge forward halfway. Here we're going to bring our hands into our Shakti Mudra. Now remember the Shakti Mudra, folding the thumb towards the palm, fold over the piece and the middle finger of the thumb, bring the tip of the ring, tip of the little finger together, and then press the knuckles of the peace fingers. The peace fingers are your index and middle finger. So you create Shakti Mudra. And then bring the Shakti Mudra in front of the heart, elbows out here. So you are folded over the right leg. Reach forward with the right arms. Exhale to bring them into the heart. Opening and closing here with those arms. Reaching out for connection and drawing in for safety. Moving here from that place of internal emotion to reach out and connect with the emotions of others. This full moon in Cancer is about connection. Connection of the mind with the emotions. Connection of our heart with that of others. Emotionally intuitive, emotionally intelligent. When you've done 5 rounds of this, and you bring the Shakti Mudra to your heart, press through all 4 corners of your right foot to rise up, engage the core, be strong through the legs here. Come up to neutral spine first. Check that your position, you're happy with that left foot. Remember, this is pyramid pose, Parshavottanasana. Inhale, hands reach up, gentle back bend. Standing pyramid with a gentle back bend here. Exhale, return the spine to neutral, hands to heart. In Shakti Mudra, reaching up, gentle back bend. Now to connect with the earth here, to say that you maintain your connection with the earth as you reach for the full moon, connect through all 4 corners of the feet. And particularly be strong in this left leg. Ensure you don't lock out that front right knee. Moving with the breath here, synchronizing the ebb and flow of movement with breath. Perhaps you're connecting with Ujjayi Pranayam, the ocean sounding breath. You can't hear it very much because I'm talking so much. And I talk a lot, those of you who know me well. Never get a quiet yoga class with me. Maybe unless we're doing yin or yoga nidra. That's when you might have some quiet from me. And when you've done your 5 cycles, my friends, let's come back here. We're going to bend into that right knee. Come onto the ball of that left foot. So turn the toes so you come onto the ball. Chandrasana, high lunge here. Gentle back bend, depending on how much space you have. Lift your gaze towards the full moon. Om pūrṇamada pūrṇamidam pūrṇāt pūrṇam udacyate pūrṇasya pūrṇamadaya pūrṇam evāvaśiṣyate. Let's bring the hands to the inside of the right foot, coming into dragon. So shuffle the right foot to the outside edge of the mat. Now, my friends, you can stay on your hands, knee lifted. You can come onto your forearms and engage in Kali Mudra, knee lifted, wing out the right knee, come onto the little toe side edge of that right foot. You can always bring that left knee to the earth. So dragon, Uttan Pusthasana, has variations. Use of props underneath the hands, underneath the forearms, use of a blanket, folded blanket underneath that left knee. This is a classic yin pose. And remember, yin is the practice of the moon, the practice of the idam. So we're drawing in much more yin-like energy into our practice of hatha yoga. Hatha yoga is yoga of the moon and the sun. It's a strong practice, drawing in all of the aspects of energy. wherever you are in your dragon. 3 breaths here. And then let's pivot around to the left with the hands on the heart. And as we do that, we move on our feet, come onto the ball of the right foot, extend through the left leg and come onto the heel of that left leg, toes reaching up. And then move your hands so that your fingertips are on the earth or on blocks. And remember here, you're on the ball of your foot. Some people may be able to do this with their foot flat on the earth, but it's not something that is reachable or attainable or desirable on my part. You can always place a block or something underneath that right knee for support or balance. You can place your hands on a block or some furniture to stay balanced here. Or keep your fingertips on the earth. You can come to sit on the earth. You can place a cushion or a bolster underneath your sit bones. Remember, we're going to scooch across and come back, so you might need some equipment at the end of your mat as well. When I say equipment, I mean whatever you have handy, like cushions in the house, pillows. Here you can bring one hand to the heart, keep one hand on the earth. Remember, here we can move into our idam Mudra. So right hand on top. If you feel a bit wobbly, I think there's something underneath my yoga mat that's making my feet hurt. That's the other thing. Clear out dog toys and pebbles from underneath your yoga mat. Let me just find my balance. Which of that was there. So you may be wobbly because your emotions may be wobbly here, and I'm particularly wobbly on my right side here. So if I'm very wobbly on my right side, I'm thinking about what's that telling me? Tune into that. The right side of me is the active aspect, the dynamic aspect, the solar aspect. So perhaps for me, intuitive, what that tells me is that I need to be drawing into action, moving into action a little bit more. Let's scoot across, coming into Skandasana over to the left side. And again, let's come into our variation of Skandasana with idam Mudra. So I can tell from my balance on the left, it's much stronger and firmer than on the right. Let's go back over to the right for a moment. And then come back into our low lunge. And we're going to step forward with the left foot to meet the right foot in a forward fold here, my friends. And then unfold spine, one vertebra at a time, back where we started. And then let's fold forward, unfold spine, fold forward, diving into the deep waters of the emotions, of the feelings, of our sensitivities and vulnerabilities, and then bravely, courageously rising up. Check that my mic is still working because my AirPod fell. 2, 5 times here, and then next time you rise up, my friends, let's quarter turn here and step to the middle of our mat, come into Tarasana with our idam Mudra here. So open out the arms and then bring in the hands. So right palm on top, palm facing down, left hand underneath, palm facing up, opening and closing here. Connect with your sense of what has become enlightened for you. What have you shone a light on in your practice? What has become illuminated for you? Remember, we in this cycle are working with intuitive, emotional, nurturing, nourishing sense of care giving, care receiving, coming home to ourselves, coming home to our family, our loved ones, our friends, our community. And finding vulnerability in that place so that we can create this deep bonds and connections with one another. When you come into star pose next time, my friends, let's turn the right foot out and we're going to come into Chandrasana. So reach for the earth. You may reach for a block of furniture. Left leg is reaching out behind you. You can always keep that left toe on the earth. Left arm reaching up. And then let's find the earth again, back into star pose. Let's turn the left foot out and we're going to go into Chandrasana to the left. Bring the left hand down towards the earth. Little hop up with that right leg. Left hand is on the earth, on furniture, on a block. And then let's find the earth with the right foot. Coming back into Tarasana. Let's do that twice more in each direction. Flowing through the middle. Maybe pausing. Maybe flowing with a bit more dynamic movement here. And once more. Here we're taking risk. Here we're creating this more dynamic flow. So as we step into vulnerability, as we lean into openness, transparency, we share our sensitive and intimate selves. We take this risk. And sometimes we may get hurt. And sometimes we may find joy, love, refuge, sanctuary, safety, pleasure, and passion. Back to center Tarasana, my friends. Let's heel toe to the center and come down to the earth, onto your sit bones, my friends. Boat pose, and then we're going to come into bridge. So boat pose, my friends. Toes on the earth, open the heart, lengthen the sternum. You can have your hands here in either mudra, ring finger and thumbs connected, right hand on top, left hand underneath. You can lift one leg at a time. You can lift both legs at a time. You can reach out your arms. You can extend your toes up to the sky. I ain't going there. This is where I like to be with my boat pose. But you can be wherever you like in your boat pose, my friends. This is your practice. Each of us is shaped and built very differently. Remember, you keep your feet, toes on the earth. What we're working here is in our core. We particularly want to focus on our Svadhisthana chakra, the seat of creativity and passion. And when you're ready, my friends, let's release the feet, release Nukasana, and come down to the earth, uncurl your spine as you do. And from here, we're going to do a variation of Skandasana. So rather than bridge pose, we're going to do mountain raises from the sea. And mountain raises from the sea involve us taking one arm over, lift the hips and pelvic area and take the right arm over. Lower the hips and pelvis, bring the right arm back. Inhale, lift the left arm overhead, lift the hips and pelvis, almost as if, so you're holding your idam mudra here, ring and little and thumb connected. And imagine that there's a string that's connecting you to your Svadhisthana. So as you reach up, you're lifting your hips and pelvis. As you lower the right arm, you're lowering the hips and pelvis. So we're doing one arm at a time here. And then next time we finish on the left arm, we're going to take both arms overhead, lifting the hips and pelvis simultaneously. And then exhaling both arms to the earth, lowering the hips and pelvis. Right arm reaches up and over. Exhaling to lower the hips and right arm. Left arm reaches up and over. Exhale to lower the left arm, hips and pelvis. Both arms reach up and over. Exhale to lower. And one more round. Right arm reaches up and over. Exhale to lower. Left arm reaches up and over. And finally, both arms reach up and over. And from here, my friends, open out the palms and then release the knees over to the left here. A gentle opener here. Side, supine twist. Arms can reach overhead or be alongside your body as you choose, my friends. Visualize the full moon glowing above you, shining brightly and radiant. Take the knees through center over to the right. Om pūrṇamada pūrṇamidam pūrṇāt pūrṇam udacyate pūrṇasya pūrṇam ādāya pūrṇam evāvaśiṣyate. Om, all that is full, all that is complete, all that is perfect. From that fullness, fullness arise. From that completion, completion arises. From that perfection, perfection arises. Inhale back to center. Open out the arms and legs into Shavasana for a short few moments here. Allow the feet to soften and turn out. Allow the knees to soften. Shoulders to soften. Elbows, wrists, hands to soften. Soft throughout the whole body. Surrender here. Surrender into vulnerability. Into this deep intelligence about the emotional self. Nourish the emotions. Express and release. Share the emotions and feelings you have. Open yourself and become emotionally available for others. Listen and attend to what arises in this full moon. Under this illumination, this radiance. One more breath here, my friends, and then let's inhale and hug everything in. And then today, let's roll along the spine to come up to a seat. Rock and roll here, or turn onto your side if you wish. Coming into Sukhasana. And then let's come into our Shakti Mudra. Thumb folded in, wrap over the peace fingers. That's the index and the middle. Tips of rings, tips of little fingers of the opposite hands together. Knuckles of the peace fingers together. Shakti Mudra. And close our practice by chanting Om Shanti. Inhale to prepare. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti.